Good morning, good morning. This is Pierre Laguerre here, your daily motivator, again with episode 524 today. Not going to be long. This week we're talking about time management, project management. How are you leveraging the time you have and making sure you're telling your tasks where to go in that time? Because since none of us can truly manage time, all we can do is fit what we have, the projects we have, into the time that we have. Again, 12 hours every day, and we could say 24 hours for everybody. But of course, we know that of those 24, most people are working 12 hours, 8 hours on average. But again, the point is, what are you doing with the time that you have? So this week, I promised you I would talk about some free and some not so free project management tools to help you with managing your time. And I think the first free one that everybody needs to get is called a calendar. The first tool I would recommend is Google Calendar. The reason for Google Calendar is because until you can see your week at a glance with everything you're doing, and you can see exactly how much time it's going to take to really get what you got started done. A lot of times you don't know. You may have a project and you may have to split it into multiple parts. And the human mind, we want to do everything all in one day. But the reality is you need to stop pushing for one day, and you need to understand, wait a minute, I probably could spread this out. And if I break down the tasks related to this project, I probably could finish it in about a week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, or maybe longer, depending on the type of project that you are taking on. So here it is. My focus for you is this. If you don't have a Google Calendar or some kind of calendar, even I use the Cambridge calendar, which you could find those calendars like notebooks on online, Amazon, Walmart. There's different places you could go and get them, but at least that's a start. I remember I was back in college, and my favorite thing was day timers. And I'm dating myself here because when we look at day timers, what was good about them is somebody could come to you and say, okay, I need a computer. And you would look down into your calendar and you would say, okay, what day could I, we need the money, we need to order it. And then on this day, I'll come to your house and deliver it and set it up for you. So this used to be the one of the things that I use my calendar for. This is way back in college. I was an undergrad and selling computers to my colleagues. So the key here is this. A calendar helped me, even though it was a paper calendar at the time, but at least it helped. It gave you an opportunity to know exactly how much time you had before you got something done. And it's important that you carry calendars around, because calendars will help you to understand how much time you have before you get to finish something. Like, for example, in 1 week, I'm leaving to head back to Puerto Rico, but in that 1 week, there's a lot of things I have to finish now in the States before I return to Puerto Rico. So it's good knowing that I have a certain amount of time and how exactly I'm going to leverage that time. So while I have other tools I want to expose you to this week, I want you to start with the first one. The first one is your Google Calendar. It's an easy one. Maybe you use Outlook. Get your Outlook calendar. If you're working in a corporate job, most likely they're leveraging Microsoft Exchange. You need to have your calendar with you, and you need to make sure you're managing life with your calendar. Yep. Corporate life or business life, your job, as well as your private life. And the key here is tough to put everything on separate calendars. I used to do that. It becomes really tough. What you need to do, let's say you're working a corporate job, your personal stuff, you can put it on the corporate calendar. Just make sure they're private, so that if you have other colleagues that have access to your stuff, your private stuff, they don't have to see it. Unless you choose, okay, it's something, it's not a big deal. Like, it's the Thursday soccer that you're going to with your kids, or the baseball game, you can always put that on the calendar for all to see for the folks that you work with. But understand, the first place it starts, the minimum you should do is have a calendar. If you're using an email app today and it doesn't come with a calendar, you need to find one. For me, I recommend Google Calendar because a lot of people have Gmail. Gmail's been around for more than 17 years. So if you basically start with a Google Calendar, you will see it's going to make your life a little easier. And of course, what's cool about it is you can set alarms on the calendar, reminders. That's what calendars are truly good for. You can have reminders of when events are coming up way ahead of time, and you can set things up so that you can connect with people and not miss important opportunities on your calendar. So that's basically what I have for you today. Get your calendar, whether it's a corporate job calendar or it's a private calendar, find a way to make sure everything is in one location. And if you need it on paper, make sure you get it on paper where you can see it as well. Sometimes seeing it on paper makes a huge difference for a lot of us, especially if you're not opening your phone and checking your calendar on a regular basis. So that's all I had for you today. I'll catch you on the next episode. Feel free to leave me any comments, any questions, so that I can actually find out from you what the next questions are. Okay, thank you.